Okay, so you've built the database, you have a professional buyer's presentation and a professional listing presentation. You understand how to bring value. At this point, what you now need to do is work the database. What does it mean to work the database? All right, working the database is the actions that you're going to be physically doing to bring value to those people, stay in relationship, and earn a right for a referral and actually be there to receive that referral. Here's how this goes. We're going to talk today about the dreaded calls. I'm Jason Wilson, and this is the War Room, where we're crafting the strategies and the techniques in building a real estate business so that you too can earn $1 million a year serving in the real estate industry. Remember, this is a people business. If you love people, it's a great way to serve. If that's not your thing, it's also just good to know what you don't want to do instead of believing it's something it's not. All right, so let's go ahead and get into that. Let's talk about the calls. One of the activities in part of a 36 touch program, the easy stuff is drip emails, maybe even drip text, but it's phone calls. Voice-to-voice phone calls. You have to call people. Most people are like, I don't know what to say. And there's some great books out there on what to say so that you can understand the language and the conversation. If you've already watched my video on the Am I the Chosen One script, you understand in that video where Michael J. Mayer wrote in his book, The 7 Levels of Communication, how we're basically making it easy for them to tell us if they have another professional that they already do business with, or if there's an opportunity to earn it and what we would need to do to earn it. That is a great way. And the reason that was so brilliant when I believe he wrote that, was because it was about them. So all of your subsequent calls after you've done that still need to be about them. You're calling to find out how they're doing and to bring value. You will follow the same format of FROG, family, recreation, occupation, goals. I stay away from dreams. Some people like 4 dreams, but I find it creepy and weird to go, hey, so what's your dreams? Like, people don't want to tell me that. But if I can talk about their goals, it's a little bit easier to go, well, how do you meet your goals, right? So this part of the conversation in your follow-up is going to be about them. And you can go as simple as family, recreation, occupation, goals, thank you, I'm done, and then call them again in another month, or if you're doing it quarterly, per quarter. However, if you are a 7 levels type of business where you're following the things Michael taught you in that book, then I would recommend that some of those calls be about the events you do. If you're going to do events, then it's going to be calling to invite to the event. And then you can do the family, recreation, occupation, goals. Then it's going to be a reminder about the event, right? So making sure that they're coming if they've RSVP'd. If they've told you they can't come, that's still valuable because you called and connected with them. And then afterward, it's going to be the event itself, right? You're going to interact with those that were able to make it. Once you get on the backside, you're going to have 3 categories of people to reach out to. Ones that showed up, thanking them for having attended the event. The second one, those that said they were going to come and didn't make it, saying, hey, we missed you. We're so sorry you weren't there. Hope everything's okay. And then, of course, the last one would be the people who RSVP'd or said they could not make it, or you weren't unsuccessful at reaching with the invitation, even though you did the activities, just to say, hey, you were missed at this year's event. I'd love to invite you to the next event. And if you do events quarterly, then this is basically a cycle you're repeating every 3 months to the next event. And you want to make sure the events bring value to them. We're coming up in July where we have our ice cream social, which is outside in the park at Eagle Watch in our one of the communities in Town Lake where we serve. And we're going to have Hug a Baby Goat. We're going to have face painting. We're going to have cornhole. We're going to have ice cream with all kinds of toppings, from gummy bears to M&Ms to things I wish I could eat that I can't. And in addition to the ice cream, as well as vendors there that help support us, and local businesses like Strat Chiropractic and some of the others. These type of things are great fun and delivering value. Gets the kids out, people get to interact, have a good time. We will also have food, because there's nothing like gathering together and having that kind of barbecue. So these become easier calls to make. If you're not an events person, it still needs to be about them and focusing on their goals. What are their goals? What do you got going on in business? If they are an entrepreneur, goals are a very easy conversation. Ask them what their goals are. What has to happen next? What is their biggest hurdle to getting to that next thing? Ask them what their next steps are going to be and when they're going to execute on it. That general format could be applied across the board. Now, if they're not an entrepreneur, they're not in a business, or they're not in sales, and like they just have a job and they really don't care who comes into their business, they don't want more business, their job is their job, then you would ask that about their personal life, right? Do they have any goals? Are they going on any vacations? Do they need a referral to a travel agent? Where do they go on vacations? Why do they like that place? If they could go somewhere else, what would that look like? Just master the art of the conversation to bring value to them, and conversational reciprocity will take place eventually, and they're going to ask you about you. Keep it concise. Where you fall off the rails, agents, is you think that's an invitation to talk all about you. I even fall into this danger trap because one of the things that we do outside of this is we actually have a band. So our band Bent to Fly plays a lot of music around locally, and some of our database are actually fans. So it gives us an opportunity to talk about that, which people have interest. But remember, I have to remember in my brain, it's not about me. Now, it's great to invite them to an event. I had somebody I just saw today who was like, hey, you guys are playing Dixie Tavern. We can't wait to be there. So that's great. Those type of things will help out, but you have to make it about them. So that's the calls. There is so much value in doing connective phone calls without it being awkward, just to connect with them and see how they're doing. If you master doing this, the rest of the database stuff will be easy for you. Okay? So if you got this far in the video, give us a likes and a thumbs up. If you have a question about the real estate industry or how you're doing your calls or working your database, send me a direct message, ask me the question, or post it below and let us comment on that. And if you have something you're like, hey, I'd like to see a video on, if it's something we're knowledgeable in, we'll do a video. If it's something we don't know anything about, we'll tell you. All right, thanks so much for being here. We'll talk to you soon.